North Carolina in Greensboro, where you may be interested to know, we actually own, in our music building, the trumpet that Miles Davis recorded Kind of Blue with. The trumpet. It is like, we have this atrium in our building outside of our recital hall, and under glass is this trumpet. It looks terrible, right? It's all the lacquer is all worn off, the mouthpiece is in there, but great, beautiful music came out of it. Ingenious music came out of it. Of course, the great irony now is that over all the years, the third valve was lost. So there's some mismatched valve in there, so no air goes through it anymore. So Miles Davis literally was the last person to play it. The legend in the school goes that when the discussions were happening with the school for a donation of his trumpet, and a bunch of, actually, did you know Miles Davis was a visual artist too? He was a painter. And we have all these works of visual art up in our music library that he did. They're really kind of modern and look a little bit like a blend between Impressionism and Picasso, right? Kind of angular but really beautiful colors. So when this was happening, there was a Saudi Arabian sheikh who wanted to purchase the trumpet from Miles Davis's estate for $1 million. And we got it at our school. So it's funny, no air goes through it, but somebody wanted it as the artifact that it is. You guys played great. Congratulations to all the soloists. You guys clearly have a great sense of feel for these pieces and the styles that you play. You listen to one another. How often tell me how the group rehearses. Do you rehearse every few times a week? Once a week. You do this once a week? How much jazz do you listen to? A lot. How do you, like those of you who played the improvised solos, how do you learn to, how do you work on your improvisation? Any of you? You do some transcribing? You do some transcribing? Because it's really obvious that you know how these things are supposed to sound. You create the right band sound when it's supposed to sound like the band as a whole, and you create the right sounds as individuals on your instruments too. So it's really fantastic to hear that. And congratulations to you for the work that goes into that. Once a week, I just almost can't believe it. It's not possible. Can we look at when you're smiling? We'll start right at the beginning. And maybe we'll do a couple passages through this chart. You set a great mood at the beginning of this tune, but I wanted to see if we can get a little more energy in the articulations at a quiet volume, right? So even though it's piano, when you have these caret accents, or you have an accent syncopated, or a long note that's on the beat, I think we need to have a little more energy, like you're shouting, but at the volume of a whisper, so there's that much intensity. Instead, at the beginning of this tune, you're really laid back in your feel, which I think is right, but almost to the point that it didn't have the sizzle that the articulations need. Let's see if we can start at the top. 1, 2, 3. Good. The caret accents are great now. They're great. In the tenor part where you have those moving eights that nobody else has, you got to bring it out, right? Bring that out more. In the second measure, that first syncopated entrance with this accent on it, put a little more punch to it. One more time. 1, 2, 3. To be a little more crisp sounding, so we get a little more backbeat. And so it feels a little bit from the rhythm section. We're going to take this next phrase with just the rhythm section. Feels a little too even on the 4. Let's see if we can get more on the backbeat.
Just what's this rehearsal letter? B? Let's take just the rhythm section of B. 2, 3, ah. Not louder, more crisper, right? So maybe don't let it open quite so much. It just needs to be a little. Yeah, so it doesn't need to be louder, it just needs to be tighter to the beat. Let's say it one more time. 1, 2, 3, ah. And you can do more on the snare, also on the backbeat. Good, accent the backbeats. Without rushing. Cool. So, where does the time come from? Does it come from the drums? It comes from the bass, right answer, you guys. I knew you would know, that's why I asked the question, right? So you can help that feeling of the backbeat if you lay it down, and if the rhythm guitar lays it down and you feel it, and then the drums just accentuate it a little bit, okay? Let's take everybody, one measure before B. One measure before B, okay? Feel the backbeat. 1, 2, 3, ah. Playing jazz, and when you get to a spot like this, measure 24, you have a quarter rest and a half note on beat 2. The tendency is to do what rhythmically? To be early or be late? Right? There's just huge gravity to pull you in early. And in this style, which is really laid back, you can't fall into that trap. You have to delay it and put emphasis because it's right in the groove of the time. And you tend to lean a little bit in those spots. Can we do that phrase one more time from one before B? And then I want to jump to the later part of the piece. 1, 2, 3, ah. Still, a couple of you want to be this much early on that note, so be really aware of that spot. Let's move to the end of the tune. Okay. Do you guys ever like sing your parts, like chant your parts when you play? Like do da da dee da. You ever do that? Can we do that here at letter E? Right? But you got to get super into it, and the volume is piano. So you've got to shout like you're whispering, okay? Or whisper like you're shouting. That would be a better way to put that, right? Whisper like you're shouting. Here's letter E. 1, 2, 3, ah. 2, 3, 4. Let's do that one more time. There'll be even more. You're going to really need to put a lot of air into the accents when you're singing it, okay? 1, 2, 3. Yep, that's better. Yes, if you play it like that, but not much louder, it's going to have this underlying energy where it's just waiting to build up, right? And eventually get to that point. It just takes a really long time. It's not forte until after F. And as we approach the forte, the backbeat needs to get stronger and stronger, and that's what builds the crescendo, right? Let's take it at E. I've only got 30 seconds. We're not going to get to F. Here's E. 1, 2, 3. Don't let it rush. You guys do so many things well that the next level is all the little things, right? Many of which you're already doing at an extremely high level. It's consistency, it's growing your awareness of other great artists, and you're already listening to many of them. Keep listening to them, keep growing in the ways that you're growing. You're in Brunswick, Maine. Where is Brunswick, Maine? Okay, so not that far outside of Boston. 2 hours from Boston. But like in that part of the world, in that part of Maine, it's not that far. Portland to Boston is not terribly far. So, all right. Well, it's not far where I come from. So, congratulations. This is really great to hear you play. Great to work with you a little bit. Congratulations to all the soloists. It's just fantastic. Thanks very much.